Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive with us. We love to really get into the nitty-gritty of all things marketing and business, and, today is no exception.
Absolutely.
We are diving headfirst into a topic that I think is on everyone's mind, especially if you're trying to, get your message out there and reach new customers.
Yep.
We're talking PPC advertising in 2025.
It's a fascinating world and one that's constantly evolving and it can be a little overwhelming
I
sometimes
really can.
to stay on top of all the changes, but it's also incredibly important because, well, if you want to be successful with PPC,
For sure.
you need to know what's working now and what's not, and that's what we're going to be talking about today.
And, we have a great resource to guide us on this journey.
We do.
We have a really interesting article called PPC Ads, How to Lower Costs and Maximize ROI.
Yeah.
And I love that title
Yeah.
because I think that's what we're all after.
Absolutely.
How to lower costs and maximize ROI.
It's the holy grail.
It is. And this article lays out some of the latest trends and techniques.
Yeah.
And I have to say some of them sound a little bit like they're straight out of science fiction,
Oh yeah.
but
Definitely.
in a good way.
Yeah.
In a way that makes me feel like, wow, PPC is really getting sophisticated.
It is.
So let's jump right in.
Okay.
One of the things that I personally find, I don't know if it's fascinating or maybe a little frustrating, is that Google Ads is constantly changing.
Yeah.
It's like every time I log in, there's something new, something different, and I feel like I have to relearn everything.
It's true. It's a moving target.
Right.
Google is constantly updating and improving their platform, and it can be a challenge to keep up with all the changes. But, at the end of the day, these changes are usually designed to benefit advertisers.
Okay. I like to hear that.
They're trying to make things easier and more effective. And one of the biggest changes that we've seen recently is the introduction of Performance Max campaigns.
Okay, so this is one of the areas where I was like, what? This is a thing. Tell me about Performance Max campaigns.
Yeah, so Performance Max campaigns are essentially Google's attempt to simplify PPC advertising
Okay.
by using machine learning to optimize your ads across all of their different channels.
So instead of having to manage, a separate campaign for search and a separate campaign for display
Exactly.
and a separate campaign for YouTube and Gmail.
Yep, all of that is now consolidated
Okay.
under one roof, Performance Max.
So it's really about saving time and streamlining things.
Exactly. It's a one-stop shop
I like it.
for all your Google Ads needs. And the beauty of it is that you don't have to be a PPC expert to use it.
Okay, good, because I'm not.
Google's machine learning algorithms will do a lot of the heavy lifting for you.
So tell me a little bit more about how the machine learning aspect of this works.
So basically, when you set up a Performance Max campaign, you tell Google what your goals are,
Okay.
what you're trying to achieve, and then you give them some information about your target audience and your products or services, and then Google's algorithms take over from there.
Uh-huh.
They analyze tons of data to figure out the best way to reach your target audience, and they automatically adjust your bids and your ad placements to get you the best possible results.
So it's almost like having, a personal PPC assistant
Exactly.
working for you 24/7.
Yeah, it's like having a whole team of data scientists at your disposal, but without the hefty price tag.
Okay, I'm liking the sound of this.
Yeah,
But I do have a question.
sure.
If we're giving Google all of this control, are we losing control?
Yeah, that's a valid concern.
Right.
And it's important to remember that Performance Max isn't about completely handing over the reins to Google. You still have control over things like your budget, your target audience, and your overall marketing goals. But you're essentially trusting Google's algorithms to make the best decisions about how to allocate your budget and how to reach your target audience.
So it really is kind of a partnership.
Exactly. It's a collaboration between you and Google,
Okay, I like that.
where you provide the strategy and the creative vision, and Google provides the technical expertise and the data-driven optimization.
Okay, so we've got this amazing new tool. I mean, it sounds like a tool, Performance Max campaigns,
Yeah.
to kind of streamline things and make it a little easier on the poor marketers who are trying to keep up with everything.
Yes.
But let's talk about another aspect of PPC that I think is incredibly important, and that's targeting.
Absolutely.
And I feel like targeting has also come a long way in recent years.
It really has in the past. We were limited to targeting people based on very basic demographics like their age, their gender, their location. But now we have access to so much more data.
That's what I'm thinking.
And we can target people based on their interests,
Right.
their online behavior, their purchase history, even their life events.
Yeah, so Tell me about these enhanced targeting options.
Yeah. Okay. So enhanced targeting options allow us to really drill down and reach the people who are most likely to be interested in our products or services.
Oh,
For example, let's say you're selling baby products.
okay.
You could target people who have recently searched for things like baby names or best strollers.
Oh, wow.
Or you could target people who have liked certain baby-related pages on Facebook or who have visited websites that sell baby products.
So we're getting really, really specific.
Yes, very specific. And the more specific you can be with your targeting, the more effective your ads will be.
Right, because you're not wasting money.
Exactly. You're not wasting money showing your ads to people who are never going to be interested in what you're selling.
And you're not annoying people
Right.
by showing them ads that are completely irrelevant to them.
Exactly. And that's important because, nobody likes to be bombarded with ads that they don't care about.
No, absolutely not. And I feel like as consumers, we've all become a lot more savvy about, recognizing when we're being targeted and when an ad is not relevant to us.
Yeah, for sure. We've all had that experience where we're like, why am I seeing this ad? This has nothing to do with me.
Right, exactly.
And that can actually have a negative impact on your brand.
It can make people feel like you don't know them,
Yeah,
like you're not paying attention to their needs.
exactly.
So these enhanced targeting options allow us to be a lot more respectful of people's time and attention,
Yes, and to create a more personalized experience.
which I think is what it's all about.
Absolutely. People want to feel like they're being treated as individuals,
For sure.
not just as numbers.
And I think when you can create that kind of personalized experience,
Yeah,
people are more likely to engage with your brand and ultimately become customers.
absolutely. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
So we've got Performance Max to make our lives easier.
Yeah.
We've got enhanced targeting options to help us reach the right people.
Yep.
But what about the ads themselves?
Yeah.
Have there been any innovations in terms of, the actual ads that we're showing people?
Absolutely. One of the most exciting developments in PPC advertising is the rise of ad customization,
Ooh, I like that.
which basically means that we can now create ads that change dynamically based on who's seeing them.
Okay, so tell me more about this ad customization.
So in the past, we would create one ad and we would show it to everyone. But now with ad customization, we can create multiple versions of an ad.
Okay.
And we can tailor those versions to specific audience segments.
Oh,
So for example, let's say you're selling shoes.
okay.
You could create one version of your ad that shows running shoes to people who are interested in running.
Right.
And you could create another version of your ad that shows dress shoes to people who are interested in fashion.
Okay, so you're basically making the ad more relevant to the person who's seeing it.
Exactly. And that's what ad customization is all about. It's about creating a more personalized and engaging experience for your audience.
I love it because I know as a consumer, I'm so much more likely to pay attention to an ad if it's something that I'm actually interested in.
Yeah, absolutely. And ad customization also allows you to be more creative and experimental with your ads.
Okay.
You can try different headlines, different images, different calls to action, and see what works best for each audience segment.
So it's really about testing and refining and constantly trying to improve.
Exactly. And that's what makes PPC advertising so dynamic and so interesting.
Okay, so we've got Performance Max, we've got enhanced targeting options, and now we've got ad customization.
Yep.
It sounds like PPC advertising in 2025 is all about working smarter, not harder.
Absolutely. And we're just getting started.
Oh, really?
There's a whole world of data-driven strategies and techniques to explore, and in the next part of our deep dive, we'll be tackling one that can be a bit controversial, but also incredibly powerful when used correctly: smart bidding.
Oh, okay. Smart bidding is controversial.
Yeah, it can be, because you're essentially giving Google even more control over your ad spend.
Oh, I can see where the controversy comes in.
But when used correctly, it can be an absolute game changer.
Okay, well, I am definitely intrigued. I can't wait to hear more about smart bidding. So listeners, be sure to join us for part 2 of our PPC deep dive, where we'll delve into the fascinating world of smart bidding.
Welcome back, everyone. So as promised, let's talk about smart bidding.
All right, I'm ready to dive in. I have to admit, I'm a little bit apprehensive about this whole smart bidding thing.
Yeah, I get it. It can be a little unnerving to think about handing over control of your ad spend to an algorithm.
It is. It's like, are we really going to let the machines take over?
Right, but think of it this way. Smart bidding is really just a tool
Okay.
to help you optimize your campaigns. It's not about replacing your expertise.
Okay.
It's about augmenting it.
Okay, I like that.
You're still the one setting the goals, the strategy, the overall direction, but smart bidding can help you execute that strategy more effectively by using data and machine learning to make real-time bid adjustments.
So it's like having a super smart assistant working behind the scenes, crunching all those numbers and making sure that you're getting the most bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to come around to this idea, but let's get specific.
Yeah.
What are these smart bidding strategies?
So there are three main smart bidding strategies that you need to know about: target CPA, target ROAS, and maximize conversions.
Okay, so let's break those down one by one.
All right, so target CPA stands for target cost per acquisition.
Okay.
And this is the strategy you'll use when you're focused on driving specific actions.
Actions like what?
Things like signups, leads, purchases, anything that you can track as a conversion.
Okay, so if I'm launching a new online course and my goal is to get people to enroll in that course, target CPA would be the way to go.
Exactly. You would set your target CPA to the amount that you're willing to pay for each enrollment.
Let's say I can afford to spend $10 per enrollment.
Okay, so you would set your target CPA to $10.
Okay.
And then Google's algorithms would take over from there. They would automatically adjust your bids to try to get you as many enrollments as possible at or below your target CPA.
So if it looks like I'm going to spend, $15 on an enrollment,
Right.
Google's going to say, whoa, hold up, let's adjust those bids down a little bit.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
It helps you stay within your budget, and it also helps you maximize your return on investment.
Okay, I like it.
Right.
All right, so what about target ROAS?
Okay, so target RAS stands for target return on ad spend.
And this is all about profitability, right?
Exactly.
Hmm.
With target ROAS, you're telling Google how much revenue you want to generate for every dollar that you spend on ads.
So let's say I'm selling a product for $100.
Rick.
And I want to make at least $4 for every dollar that I spend on advertising. I would set my target ROAS to 400%.
Precisely. And then Google's algorithms would work to get you as close to that target as possible.
This is making a lot of sense to me now.
Good.
Okay, so we've got target CPA for actions, target RAS for profitability.
Yes.
What about maximize conversions?
So maximize conversions is the simplest of the three smart bidding strategies.
Okay.
With this strategy, you're basically telling Google, hey, I just want you to get me as many conversions as possible within my budget.
So you're not setting a specific target CPA or ROAS.
Nope, you're just giving Google free rein to maximize your conversions.
So when would you use this strategy?
So maximize conversions is a good option for awareness campaigns,
Okay.
where your goal is to reach as many people as possible and get your brand out there.
Okay.
It's also a good option if you don't have a lot of historical data to work with.
Okay, because you need that data to feed the algorithm for the other two strategies.
Exactly. Target CPA and target ROAS work best when you have enough data to train the algorithms.
Okay, so it sounds like there's a smart bidding strategy for every situation.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I have to ask, what about the risks?
Okay, so like with any powerful tool, there are risks associated with smart bidding.
Okay.
If you're not careful, you can end up spending more money than you intended, or you can end up getting a lot of low-quality conversions.
Right, that's
So-
what I was worried about. I've heard those horror stories about smart bidding going rogue and blowing through people's budgets.
Yeah, it can happen, but it's usually because the campaigns weren't set up properly or they weren't monitored closely enough.
So it's really important to know what you're doing.
Yes. You need to have a good understanding of how smart bidding works, and you need to be diligent about monitoring your campaigns and making adjustments as needed.
So it's not just set it and forget it.
Definitely not.
Okay, good to know.
Hmm.
All right, so we've talked about smart bidding. Let's move on to another topic that I think is really interesting, and that's remarketing.
All right, remarketing, it's one of the most effective ways to increase conversions and build customer loyalty, but it can also be one of the most annoying things for consumers.
I was just thinking that, as a consumer myself, I have a love-hate relationship with remarketing because on the one hand, I appreciate it when a brand reminds me about something that I was interested in.
Right.
But on the other hand, if I see the same ad over and over and over again, it just starts to feel creepy and intrusive.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about finding that balance
All right.
between being helpful and being annoying.
So how do we walk that fine line? How do we use remarketing effectively without creeping people out?
So there are a few key things to keep in mind. First, you need to make sure that your remarketing ads are relevant to the people who are seeing them.
Okay, so if I'm looking at a pair of shoes online,
Right.
I don't want to be bombarded with ads for lawnmowers.
Exactly. Your remarketing ads should be based on the products or services that people have already shown an interest in.
Okay, that makes sense.
Second, you need to be mindful of the frequency of your remarketing ads.
Frequency as in how often people are seeing the ads.
Exactly. If people are seeing your ads too often, they're going to get annoyed and tune them out.
Right. It's like anything else. If you see it too much, it just becomes noise.
Exactly. So you want to find that sweet spot where you're staying top of mind without being overwhelming.
So how do we do that?
So one way to control the frequency of your remarketing ads is to use frequency capping,
Frequency capping. Okay.
which allows you to set a limit on how many times a person will see your ads within a given time period.
So I could say, I only want someone to see this ad 3 times a week.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that will help to prevent ad fatigue.
All right. So we've talked about relevance. We've talked about frequency. What else do we need to keep in mind?
So another important aspect of remarketing is audience segmentation.
Okay. Audience segmentation. Tell me more about that.
So audience segmentation is all about dividing your audience into different groups based on their behavior and their level of engagement.
So, for example, someone who has visited my website multiple times and added items to their cart is going to be a lot more valuable than someone who just stumbled upon my website once and bounced right off.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you want to create different remarketing campaigns for different audience segments.
Okay, so I could have one campaign for people who have abandoned their carts
Right.
and another campaign for people who've signed up for my email list.
Exactly. And that way you can tailor your messaging and your offers to each specific audience segment.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
And it can really help to improve your conversion rates.
So it sounds like remarketing, when done right,
Yes.
can be a really powerful tool.
Absolutely. It can help you reconnect with people who have already shown an interest in your brand. And it can help you nudge them further down the sales funnel.
But it's important to use it responsibly.
Yes. Definitely. You don't want to be that creepy stalker brand.
Right. Nobody wants that. So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into PPC advertising in 2025. I mean, we've talked about everything from performance max campaigns to enhanced targeting options to smart bidding to remarketing, and it's a lot to take in.
It is. It's a lot.
And I'm wondering if you could maybe sum it all up for us. Give us like one key takeaway.
It's funny because when I think about all these different aspects of PPC advertising, they all kind of boil down to one fundamental principle, and that is understanding your audience.
Oh,
The more you know about who you're trying to reach, their needs, their interests, their pain points,
right.
the better you can tailor your message, your targeting, your overall approach to really resonate with them.
Okay, so it's not just about, throwing money at Google and hoping for the best.
Yeah, no.
It's about really taking the time to get to know your ideal customer.
Exactly. And that's true for any kind of marketing, really.
Right.
Whether it's PPC, social media, content marketing, email marketing, you name it.
It's all about understanding your audience.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's a great takeaway, and I think it's something that we can all apply to our businesses and our marketing efforts. But I'm also curious, what's next for PPC? What can we expect to see in the future?
Well, PPC is constantly evolving, so it's hard to say for sure what the future holds, but I think we can expect to see even more emphasis on automation and machine learning.
Okay, so kind of like what we're seeing with Performance Max campaigns.
Exactly. I think we'll see more tools and platforms that leverage AI to help us optimize our campaigns and make our lives easier.
Okay, I like the sound of that, making our lives easier.
Yes. And I also think we'll see more focus on personalization and creating those one-to-one experiences that really connect with consumers on an individual level.
So it's all about being more human.
Yes, absolutely. At the end of the day, PPC advertising is still about connecting with people and building relationships, and that's something that will never go out of style.
I love that. So to wrap things up, I think the key takeaway here is that PPC advertising in 2025 is all about working smarter, not harder. It's about using data and technology to our advantage, but it's also about being strategic and creative. And most importantly, it's about understanding our audience and building genuine connections.
Well said. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for another deep dive into the world of marketing and advertising. It's been a pleasure as always.
The pleasure was all mine.
And listeners, we hope you found this episode informative and insightful, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.